You know the feeling, don't you? It hits you when you least expect it, usually in the most mundane of moments. You are standing in a coffee shop you have never visited, or walking down a street in a city you are seeing for the first time, and suddenly the world tilts. A cold electric shiver runs down your spine, and a terrifying certainty washes over you. I have been here before. The way the light hits the dusty window, the muffled sound of a car passing by, the exact cadence of a stranger's voice, it all locks into place like a puzzle piece you didn't know you were holding. For a heartbeat, you aren't just experiencing the present, you are remembering it. It feels less like a memory and more like a premonition, a ghost of a moment that has already happened, playing out again in real time. You freeze, your internal logic screaming that this is impossible, while your intuition whispers that it is the only true thing you have ever felt. This is déjà vu. And while we dismiss it as a brain glitch or a quirky mental hiccup, the biological reality of what is happening inside your skull during those 3 seconds is far more profound and far more unsettling than you could ever imagine. To understand the true horror of this phenomenon, you have to stop thinking of your memory as a camera recording reality. Your memory is not a passive archive. It is an active, chaotic storyteller that is constantly editing the script of your life. Deep within the temporal lobes of your brain, there is a tiny, seahorse-shaped structure called the hippocampus. This is the gatekeeper of your existence, the machine responsible for turning the chaos of the now into the orderly files of the past. In a healthy brain, this process is seamless. You see a face, the hippocampus checks its index, sees no match, and stamps it as new. But during déjà vu, this delicate machinery suffers a catastrophic synchronization error. Imagine a neurological short circuit where the feeling of familiarity fires before the brain has finished processing the image itself. It is a timing error in the grandest machine in the universe. Your sensory inputs, what you see, hear, and smell, are supposed to arrive at your conscious mind simultaneously, like a choir singing in perfect unison. But sometimes there is a lag, a split-second delay. Neuroscientists call this the dual processing theory, and it offers a dizzying explanation for why reality feels like it is fracturing. Imagine that the optical pathway from your left eye processes a scene just milliseconds faster than your right eye. Or perhaps the pathway carrying sound arrives a fraction of a moment before the pathway carrying sight. Usually the brain smooths over these microscopic delays, merging them into one cohesive now. But when you are tired, stressed, or chemically imbalanced, the brain fails to merge them. The first signal arrives, and your brain logs it as present reality. Then, the second signal, the delayed one, arrives a microsecond later. Because your brain has just processed this exact information, it doesn't recognize the second signal as now. It recognizes it as past. It flags the delayed signal as a memory. You are literally experiencing the same moment twice, once as reality and once as a phantom echo of itself. You are haunting your own perception. The memory feels real because it is real, it just happened a millisecond ago, and your brain is gaslighting you into thinking it happened years ago. But the illusion goes deeper, digging into the very way we construct the future. Have you noticed that during déjà vu, you often feel like you know exactly what is going to happen next? You feel like you can predict that a glass will fall or a phone will ring. This is where the hologram theory of memory comes into play. Our memories are stored in fragments, a smell here, a color there, a texture somewhere else. When you walk into a new environment that shares just one strong element with a buried memory, say, the layout of the room is similar to your grandmother's house, your brain retrieves that old fragment. But instead of just recalling the layout, it hallucinates the entire emotional context of the old memory onto the new scene. It paints a holographic overlay of the past onto the present. The brain, desperate to make sense of the pattern, begins to fill in the blanks, predicting the next millisecond based on a past script that doesn't apply here. You feel prophetic not because you are seeing the future, but because your brain is aggressively trying to force the present to match a recording that doesn't exist. This brings us to the most uncomfortable realization of all. If your brain can so easily fabricate the sensation of the past, if it can make a stranger feel like an old friend and a new city feel like home, then how much of your real past is actually true? We trust our memories as the bedrock of our identity. We say, I know who I am because I remember where I have been. But déjà vu exposes the lie. It reveals that the feeling of realness is just a chemical signal, a switch that can be flipped by a stray electron or a misfiring neuron. If a simple timing error can make the present feel like a memory, what is stopping the brain from making a dream feel like reality? Or a hallucination feel like history? In that suspended moment of déjà vu, the wall between the internal world of the mind and the external world of matter dissolves. You are left standing in the breach, feeling the cold draft of a universe where time is not a straight line, but a tangled loop of perception. And just as you start to question if you are the pilot of your own mind or merely a passenger, the feeling fades, the glitch corrects itself, the matrix resets. But the question remains, gnawing at the back of your neck, was that really just a glitch, or was it a glimpse? The aftermath of a déjà vu experience often leaves an indelible impression that seeps beneath the surface of consciousness, transforming what might have seemed like a simple quirk of memory into a gateway opening onto the deep and intricate architecture of the mind itself. Unlike ordinary moments that slip away without a trace, déjà vu lingers resonating like a mysterious echo from a hidden dimension of awareness, stirring within us a peculiar blend of wonder, disquiet, and unshakable curiosity about the nature of reality and perception. At the heart of this phenomenon lies a profound interplay between two powerful forces within the brain's network: memory and reality. Sensation and cognition, each governed by distinct but overlapping neural systems. The hippocampus, nestled deep within the medial temporal lobe, and shaped like a graceful seahorse, acts as the master archivist of experiential data, diligently recording new information and retrieving stored memories to help create a coherent narrative of the self across time. It works in concert with the prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive command center, which continuously evaluates and monitors these inputs, discerning truth from error, memory from illusion. During moments of déjà vu, however, these systems do not merely fall out of sync. They momentarily clash in a dynamic struggle that reveals the subtle fragility of our conscious experience. The hippocampus may prematurely signal familiarity, prompting a visceral feeling of "I have been here before," while the prefrontal cortex rises in cautious protest, scanning the sensory data for confirmation but encountering only ambiguity or contradiction. This internal interrogation, occurring in a span measured in milliseconds, manifests outwardly as the eerie sensation of having lived a moment twice, without ever quite resolving whether it was real or imagined. Studies utilizing functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, have illuminated this neurological tug-of-war, showing heightened activity in brain regions responsible for memory recognition and error detection during reported episodes of déjà vu. Experimental paradigms designed to induce this experience by presenting subjects with slightly altered or unfamiliar but structurally similar environments demonstrate how the mind energetically searches for a coherent explanation, compensating for incongruities by overlaying fragments of past experiences or their simulations onto new sensory inputs. This blending of current perception with reconstructed memory contributes to creating the seamless illusion of familiarity that both enchants and unsettles our waking awareness. Moreover, the underlying mechanisms of déjà vu extend beyond mere memory error into the domain of temporal processing. The brain's ability to integrate multimodal sensory signals hinges critically on precise timing, with input signals typically converging concurrently into conscious awareness to form a unified moment in time. When this synchronization falters, perhaps due to nerve impulse lag or transient disruptions in synaptic transmission, the brain perceives a disjointed timeline, interpreting the delayed signal as a past event rather than simultaneous reality. This phenomenon, known among neuroscientists as dual processing, engenders a paradoxical experience in which the present is perceived simultaneously at two temporal coordinates, first as immediate reality, then as an almost ghostly replay, thus generating the sensation of reliving the moment. Far from being a mere neurological curiosity, this glimpse into the brain's intricate temporal orchestration echoes through the philosophical corridors, exploring the nature of time and existence itself. If the mind can fabricate a past sensation where none objectively exists, what does that say about the integrity of our memories, the linearity of time, or the foundational grounds of reality? The boundaries between subjective experience and objective truth become blurred, instilling a profound ambiguity that challenges not only neuroscience but also the deepest traditions in metaphysics and consciousness studies. In this intellectual and experiential liminality, perspectives from quantum physics offer speculative yet tantalizing viewpoints. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics posits that countless parallel universes run alongside our own, differing slightly by the outcomes of every decision and event. Could it be that during déjà vu, our consciousness momentarily aligns or resonates with one of these alternate realities, perceiving a version of events that have played out differently in a parallel timeline? While this remains a hypothesis beyond the current reach of empirical verification, it captures the imagination by framing déjà vu not as a cognitive malfunction but as a subtle doorway into the multiverse of existence. Whether neuroscience ultimately unravels all mechanisms behind this spectral phenomenon or not, déjà vu stands as a vivid testament to the mind's remarkable complexity, its ceaseless dialogue between memory and perception, the precarious architecture of time as experienced, and the mysterious depths of consciousness where reality flickers and folds upon itself. It is in these fleeting moments that we confront with awe and disquiet the possibility that our experience of now is neither singular nor stable but is woven from echoes, illusions, and interdimensional shadows, reminding us that the universe is far more enigmatic than we have ever dared to imagine.